What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at OG-1. That's Omnigonix's Spinout, and this is obviously their take on Sunstreaker, and we heard about him approximately the same time as we heard of the Bad Cube one. Now let me say something ahead of time. I apologize if I mix up which one I say, Omnigonix and Bad Cube. I have this tendency when I'm talking about this to keep saying Omnigonix, and I mean to say Bad Cube. So if I do, I don't want to see it in the comments. I understand Omnigonix, Bad Cube. So let's talk about the cars. Now, when this guy got released, it was shortly after Bad Cube announced theirs, and these guys beat Omnigonix to the punch by a long shot at this point. Yeah, so if you don't already have this one, you know, this may be a tempting purchase, so let's take a look at them. When it comes to the car mode, the front end of it, of the Omnigonix, is actually very G1. You see how you have this like air dam on the front, or ground effects I suppose you could call it. The Omnigonix has that, whereas the Bad Cube one really kind of doesn't. It's kind of there, but it's very hidden. I actually prefer the front end of the Omnigonix one to the Bad Cube. Now, the things I don't like about it, the silver lights here, they're very flat feeling, whereas this one with a little bit of molded detail inside there actually give it a little bit more depth to me, and I appreciate that. The other thing that kind of sticks out to me about this is there's this hole right here on the windshield, and that's for some of the pieces that hold this guy together in his robot mode. I kind of wish that they had put a windshield wiper like the Bad Cube one here to kind of hide that hole. It's kind of distracting. And you'll notice, based on how it's done, there's actually a lot of paint chipping around here on this. And I mean, this is a week old at this point. And that's probably something we should mention real quick. This is a week old, and already this thing has gone from, I believe, a $99.99 price tag down to $60 because retailers are not really happy with the quality. We'll talk about that as we go. I don't think the quality is terrible. My buddy Robert, who's letting me borrow this, he equated it to knockoff. I don't feel like it's knockoff, but this is definitely a higher quality plastic. You can see here the side wheels, like this is an example. You can see they're just, you know, a cast piece of plastic, all of them. They're actually held on very strangely. They've got like this like clip system in here, so the wheels can just easily pop right out, and the wheels are worthless. When we roll this guy, like you can see his wheels moving, but the wheels are not bringing him across this piece of cardboard here. He's actually just sliding. It's all sliding back and forth. The Omnigonix, or let's see, there we go. Bad Cube one, he rolls just fine. But regardless, the front of the car looks nice, and it's gonna fit in just perfectly with your MP side swipe. In fact, it may fit in better than the Bad Cube in alt mode because it almost looks too much like this is the Lamborghini, whereas this is, you know, a Lamborghini base, but it's modified. Now, you don't get any chrome bits on this. It's all this matte silver. I do wish they had like the Bad Cube option where you got all these chrome bits as well as the matte silver look. I appreciate that extra detail, so you can have it whichever way you like. Personally, I think the chrome looks more striking, and this is like what I wanted to show you with the wheels. Like Bad Cubes has like the holes actually in it, so it's a more intricate piece of plastic versus this just, you know, cast piece. Now the back is really weird. So here's the back of our masterpiece, and then we got the back of the Omnigonix, and it's really nicely detailed. Like you can't fault the paintwork on the pipes, and you know, you got the splitter, which is a different color than the back of the car. The tail lights look nice. I mean, that part looks nice. Almost too nice. Now the Bad Cube one looks kind of crappy, but when you come down to it, the G1 car doesn't really look like a Lamborghini from the rear end. It's pretty much a weird mess from, you know, the back quarter panel onward. So in that regard, it's weird that the front captures G1 so much and then the back just kind of ignores it entirely, which is the opposite of what happens with the Bad Cube version. Underneath, very clean. From the side here, one thing that I do like about the Omnigonix version is while this detail is kind of present in this one, it's actually a little bit more detailed on here. I do like the extra yellow on here because it does serve to break up the front end of the car a little bit nicer than the Bad Cube version, and it's in line with what you had on G1, where they kind of really differentiate it from a Lamborghini with all this, you know, detailing on the window. So one thing that the Bad Cube version lets you do is all the accessories here, whether you liked it or not, could just peg onto the top of this car. And as far as I see, there is no way to get this gun and this like hand cannon stored anywhere on the vehicle mode if you want to show it in vehicle mode. I guess you can kind of shove it in there, which is, I don't think it's intended to go there, but yeah, there's really nothing you can do to store these. Alright, so we're going to attempt to get this guy to his robot mode, and I say attempt because these instructions are terrible. They're not clear on what you're supposed to do, and yeah, somewhere around here it gets kind of confusing. So we're going to attempt it as best as I can figure out how, and yeah, hopefully it works. So we start by taking these wheels and unplugging them here, and then unplug the back of the car like this. Now we're going to come down to this plate, open this up, and then extend the arms out like this, and then take them and bring them all the way to the side, just like so. Pretty standard and straightforward at this point. Now you take these little pieces here, and you bring them down. Now from what I've seen on this transformation, it actually loads easier than the Bad Cube version, which is a good thing, because the Bad Cube one is confusing. I just feel like they needed to flesh this out a little more, but we'll get to that as we keep going. Anyway, you come to the front here, and you kind of take this piece out here, like that, and get all the hood piece out of your way. And you kind of do something like this, I believe. We'll see it as it happens. And you can pull the head, well, open the legs up here, which does require these doors. And once that's loose, you can actually get the head out of there and bring it all the way just straight up like this. So now that we have this, I guess let's work with the legs here. The legs are confusing in the instructions, and watch this. We're gonna pull this down, and look at the quality of this. It just pops off, and it's just pegged in there. Like, where's the glue? Like, if this was glued into place, like, it's just a hollow piece of plastic. Like, if this was glued so it didn't fall out, it'd be okay. No complaints. Now the instructions tell you to pull the legs out. In my experience, that's not what happens. You want to kind of hold on to this pad thing here and kind of flip this around just like so. And there's this little bit right here that extends the feet out a little bit further. And then you're just going to bring this door all the way around just like so. And now to close up that thigh gap, take this filler panel and bring it down. So let's rinse and repeat here. Hold this piece here so this whole thing kind of rotates out of this socket here. There we go. Bring this down. Extra little bit of force. Hopefully we don't rip off the front of the car again. And you can bring this back like that. Bring this little panel down. Come on, Omnigonix. And this is actually attached by a screw that is not actually holding it on. I mean, I don't even think it's stripped out. It's just flat out not put in there enough. I mean, that's terrible. Anyway, so we'll take this, and you might be seeing one of the big problems with this toy as I'm trying to transform it. And it's not that things fall off, but do you notice what all the parts are doing here? Anyway, so we got his feet, we got this, he can stand. And this is the thing that I think was best about the Omnigonix versus the Bad Cube. The feet. But they don't hold his own weight. So this is obviously going to be kind of tragic. Anyway, let's come back to the rest of the robot here, if we can. And this is where things get pretty confusing. So this still needs to be down. You want these wheels here to fold in like this. And this is where the instructions are a bit unclear. This is supposed to fold down, and then I assume that these pieces here are supposed to clip back here. But no matter what I do, that doesn't actually seem to happen really. Like, yeah. And then this piece is actually supposed to kind of fold under these tires that are intended to clip in place. And I think you can close these up. It's not really clear there either. But kind of like this in there. So like I feel like I have to jam this black piece in place to kind of make this all collapse down like this. And that's, as best I understand it, what's supposed to happen here. So then we take this piece, and this probably should have been taken care of before we managed to collapse all that in, but it's supposed to feed back in here. Back in here, come on, you can do it. Like this. We're gonna have to take this apart, aren't we? Anyway, this feeds back through this piece here. Maybe it doesn't. Let me see these instructions again, because something is most definitely out of whack. So this is up like this. What is this thing supposed to do? And see, this is that little piece that you could see right there. So let's see. Let's try this again. I think we had it right where it's supposed to go. Yeah, it's supposed to go through here and then kind of feed to these back pieces just like this. And now this comes down and you kind of jam this black piece in and hope that somehow these things, oh, would you look at that? They actually are around those pieces in there. Who knew? So you got that going on. Meanwhile, your feet are fighting you down here. So we got this, and we will take these silver flaps here and bring them around. And now these are supposed to plug into the front of the windshield here, but they don't really hold in any meaningful way, so they're probably going to come out again. And you want to rotate this up just like that. And we pretty much got the robot here. And this is, in all the pictures, this is where things look like a big mess. It's the reason that I was out on this toy, is because at first I thought that it was all mistransformed and that this would tab in, but the only thing that tabs is this silver head plate thing. And because it's not a secure connection, none of this works. Come on. And we're not even going to go back to the robot mode with it, or the car mode with it. So we got that, we hold that in place. We'll put these arms in place here. One thing that I found is that these aren't glued on, so they just, again, pop off. And I thought one was missing from the box. It turns out that it was just fell on the floor mid the first transformation. Anyway, come down to here. This is an ample time to show it. We won't show it again. If you want to put this thing in, you just simply don't flip out his hand and you put that in. If you do, be careful, because you're going to open this, and if you see right here, this is all splitting because it's held together with one pin at the elbow. Who designed that? Like, why would you do that? That's terrible. So close this up and you got a handout. Stand up, man. 5 minutes. Come on. Look at that. Look how this whole thing just comes apart. Can you see that? I hope you can. Let's see. There's good light. Look at that. You can see right through that. That's terrible. You know, I am so glad that I didn't cancel Sun Surge, and you know, because originally I was in the crew that I'm like, I kind of like how this one looks over Sun Surge, and if I'm honest, there's... Gosh. Look at this. Look at this. Something just fell off. I don't even know what it was. Oh, it's one of his wheels. Hasbro dance, huh? More like the Omnigonix dance. Like, this guy can't even... It's so bad. It's so bad. His wheel even... Look at this. There was no stress on the wheel and it popped off the screw. Like, that's not even... What? What? Oh my god, how did that even happen? I don't even know how that happened. So, you can see he can't stand, he can't stay in his robot mode, which sucks. Like, come on, Omnigonix, you guys were late to this game. Why didn't you make the better toy? Why didn't you ensure that you had the best Sunstreaker on the market? You know, like, there's a lot of stuff about the Bad Cube that it's okay, but I don't love it. But at least Bad Cube's wheels aren't falling off, and, you know, at least Bad Cube can stand. You know, like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. It's not even worth doing articulation on. I would say he has maybe the better robot mode, but he doesn't because he can't stand, and when you try to pose him, his head falls back into this chest piece. Like, this is beyond repair. You know, like, no wonder that you came out at $100 and then instantly retailers are discounting you to 60 bucks. And why? Like, with all that extra time you had, let's stand him up there, okay? We're standing him against the back here, and this is the best he's gonna be in robot mode, because you honestly can't do anything else with him. Look at this. There he is with Sideswipe. If he was in a proper robot mode, you know, like, this is a bit big, but so is this on Sideswipe. If this all held together better, I would like this guy more than I would like the Bad Cube one. I mean, the Bad Cube one has this little tiny squat chest, like, he's got a big crotch, and he's got a tiny belly through shoulders. Like, this looks terrible. This is actually better looking, but you made it so bad that even for $60, I can't tell anyone that they should not get this one. Nothing. There's nothing redeeming about this guy. He's got a good vehicle mode. If the wheel doesn't fall off on you, can he hold his weapon? I don't know. He's probably gonna break his hand apart or something in the process. Let's see. Yay, he can hold his vehicle mode. Or, he can hold his vehicle mode. He can hold his weapon. He's got me all flustered at this point. Come on, guys. Nobody's gonna ever take your company seriously if you being second to the party and you can't make the better product. I mean, look, there's potential in here that when it was, all the pictures we've seen was mistransformation. Because look, if this was back all the way like this, that's pretty seamless. There's not much of a gap there. The arms are back in a position that they look nice, you know, assuming the head is plugged in properly, like that. I mean, that looks pretty good. I don't have any complaints. The back is pretty clean. It certainly looks better than this mess here. It's actually a more compact backpack. There is a lot of things that are good with this, but it's so poorly made that wheels fall off and front pieces fall off, and we got holes and we've got chipping, and we just got something that wobbles around terribly. So yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna bother putting it back into vehicle mode for you guys, because honestly, at 60 bucks, it's still a ripoff. If it's 30 bucks and you don't have the Bad Cube one, I say pick it up, because like I said, I don't particularly like how this looks. I actually think that if this thing worked like it's intended, it would look better next to Sideswipe, in my opinion. Yes, it's a little big, but this always has felt a little big to me too. And I just think that this would actually look better if they gave a crap. And I just feel like they didn't. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, one more thing. He also comes with an alternate head that's inconsequentially different, as it just changes the shape of this. Who cares?